All right, welcome back to the Fighter Pilot Professor. Happy New Year. I am your host, Meta. Glad you're here. Today, it's just an update. We're going to just be chatting about what we're going to be doing for the new year. Just highlighting a couple of things that we've been tracking. Of course, the Syria situation remains, we'll say, undecided. Syrian leader Bashar al-Assad fled the country, largely suspected to be in Russia, of course. And it looks like the Russians are sort of abandoning the spot, which leaves a weird power vacuum with a wide variety of insurgent groups, some including the remnants and spin-offs of ISIS. There's Kurdish groups, Turkish-supported factions, Saudi-supported factions, some Iranian-supported factions in there. So bottom line, it's a hodgepodge, and it's going to be interesting to see how all that goes. Additionally, still just sort of updating the war in the Ukraine continues to be a grind. Both sides not really making any headway. Air attacks, long-range missile attacks, long-range drone strikes, etc. by both sides continue to be the common thing, and then the front lines were largely just represented in a stalemate between the two sides. So again, nothing sort of groundbreaking in that, but interesting developing picture for sure. We'll see what develops. I think, frankly, that this will be a sort of new chapter in the war this year, in my opinion. I think there's going to be some breakthroughs on one side or the other. I'm not making any predictions about who, of course, but I think it'll be an interesting change to how the war is approached and by both sides, in my opinion. Also, we'll be talking about some interesting anniversaries. We'll be talking about the anniversary of the end of the Vietnam War, the publishing of NSC 68, which we'll talk all about, and the anniversary of Operation Eagle Claw. Again, some of these interesting topics we've talked about before. So some big anniversaries coming up this year, and we'll talk about those as we move through. As always, hit the like button, follow me on YouTube and Instagram, The Fighter Pilot Professor. Tell your friends about me. Shoot them a note. Let them know where to find my podcast, and hopefully get them following. Right? Have a good one. Welcome to the Fighter Pilot Professor podcast. I'm your host, Meta. And in the Fighter Pilot Professor podcast, every week we examine world events and your daily life through the mind of a fighter pilot. The episodes answer your questions, harnessing my experience in 25 years of flying fighter jets and my PhD in history, policy, and strategy. You can tune in wherever you find your favorite podcast. You can follow me on Instagram and on YouTube, the Fighter Pilot Professor.